Hi, everyone. It's Henry DeVries from Agency Rainmaker TV. This is the show where we teach you how to be an authority, have authority power, and more impact, more influence, and all those wonderful things that attract the right fit clients. So that's what we mean by making it rain. How do you attract those right fit clients? And I'm very excited to have Michael Arnot with us today, all the way from Australia. And he is an expert on professional speaking, how to be a pro speaker. And Michael, tell us a little bit about you and Main Stage.
Yeah, hi Henry. Glad to be here. Yeah, there are two organizations that I represent. The first is Encore, which is a speaking agency. So I've been in the events industry, buying and selling speakers for more than 25 years now. And secondly is Mainstage, which is our speaker business academy, where we work with speakers who, as you say, really want to create that authority, really want to get on those stages and more than that, actually leverage the value that they've really got to give as well. And so, just like you, we work with people who are agents, consultants, trainers, coaches, and of course, speakers. Essentially, sort of people who know that they've got great value to give. They've realized that it's high time that they leverage that value. There could be someone who's done a bit of speaking here and there, usually as an invited expert. Yeah. So someone's running a conference and they're looking for someone on a particular topic area that they've predetermined. And, they might have been invited to come and do those sorts of talks. They might have done some consultancy or training with someone and they're invited to do those talks. But sit in the audience when they see those people that are opening or closing the conference and think, wow, I could do a lot better than they are at that. It could be people who are just sick and tired of talking themselves hoarse 5 days a week up and down the country to groups of people who sometimes could care a bit less than being there. And they know that it's time that they were on those bigger stages. And also, of course, those successful speakers who haven't really got a business plan, fell into speaking, maybe become successful almost by accident, and they really want a steady, reliable, profitable business whilst they change the world around them, sort of one talk at a time, and create that value and that leverage in that profile that they can get from doing it as well. So that's the type of people that we really help.
My son, Jack, the journalist who works for us, he nicknamed this the perfect crime. People pay you money to market to them. And we, we want more people to learn the art and science of this perfect crime. So tell us more how you help people and how your event coming up in Las Vegas will help people with the business end of being a professional speaker.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. I mean, I'm a strong believer myself that I mean I've never really been comfortable with that whole, speak to sell model. I
Mhm.
completely get that it works for a lot of people, but in my line of work, people are buying and paying for you to be on that stage, to have great impact, to give great value. And if you do that in the right way, it means that they will see automatically that you've got more to give. There's a way to construct your business, your talk, what you do, right from the very start. I love the idea of that sort of congruence of message, right from the start of them ever being engaged with you all the way through from your talk and then what you do afterwards so they can see the value that you've got so that you don't have to sell from stage. But the people that we work with are highly intelligent, hugely inspiring people that have got a massive, massive value to give. But typically they struggle with that business side of speaking. And so what I mean by that is that there's being great on stage, there's this thing out there, right? That being great on stage is 95% of the job. All you got to do is have a brilliant keynote, be brilliant on stage, and that's it. You're a professional speaker. You'll make it. The word will get round, and you'll make lots of money from it and get on lots of big stages. And it couldn't really be further from the truth because I know people who, if you were in the audience, Henry, and anyone listened to this, they would blow your mind, right? They were absolutely amazing content, fantastic delivery, but they'll never really make any money out of speaking, and they'll never really get on those big stages and have the impact that they really want to have Whereas on the other hand, there are speakers that I actually represent and that we sell regularly in our agency who will make $1 million this year keynote speaking. But
Wow.
I would probably rate them, and I'm a fairly harsh judge, maybe a 7 out of 10 on stage. So they're good, right? They're good, they're adequate, not going to blow your mind, but they know the business of speaking, they know how it works, and they know how to work that machine. And that's the important part. And I suppose it brings it back to my old days of being an enterprise coordinator and helping people with small business in my early career, where, any business is kind of like that, right? You can be a great plumber, but you've also got to be good at the books, at marketing, at, customer service and all of those things if you're really going to have a successful, scalable business. Otherwise, you'll just be a really busy fool, and selling time for money. So, you know, much of what we help people with is actually understanding a lot of the misnomers and the myths, and some right times, the downright lies that are sort of centered around this industry and that people will hear, and people make it far too complicated, this industry, and it isn't complex, but it is very different to anything else. So you may have a very successful consultancy business or training business or agency or whatever, and think that this is a little bolt on you can add on and it'll just be easy. Well, the fact is that if you want to be serious about this not only can make a massive impact on your central business, but also be a huge, huge income earner and profile builder in its own right. And in order to do that, as I've said, if you want to make, you know, five, 10, $15,000 a talk, and you want to do that regularly 20, 30, 50 times a year, all of a sudden that's a significant business. And like any business, you need to take it seriously. So, for example, a typical belief out there is that, you just need an agent, right? I'm a great speaker. I've got
Right.
great value. All I need is an agent. Yeah. I just need an
Yeah.
agent. I just need to get in with a bureau, and they'll sell me and we'll all be millionaires. That's it. But did you know that the best ever study in keynote speaking in this industry was conducted in the US in 2019? And that study showed that there was 1.9 billion with a B spent on keynote speakers in 2019.
Ah,
Now, out of that, how much do you think was booked through all the agents and bureaus in the US? What percentage would you think was spent with agents and bureaus?
50%.
That would be the normal assumption. That's normally what people would say. It was actually only 12%.
It's okay to say you're wrong. This is America. You can you can be bold and
12%.
in my face. You're
Right?
wrong,
Well,
Henry. It's 12%.
yes. Well, but this is the thing. It's what I'm talking about. These assumptions that people make. So only 12% was booked with agents and bureaus. Now, if we think about that and peel it back a bit, we can understand that if our automatic, and typically it is the automatic assumption that I'm really good on stage, I want to access those big stages. The people that book people on big stages are agents and bureaus, therefore I just need to get in with an agent and then I'm going to be happy. If then you layer on top of the fact that only 12% of all the bookings go through all the agents and bureaus, then 88% of bookings, the vast majority of clients out there that are booking people for keynote stages, they book direct with the speakers themselves. And so that means that however much you would like an agent like us to be the magic wand for your speaking, it is not going to happen. Even if we wanted to fill your calendar for you, we can't. Our business problem is not just sitting waiting for another speaker to turn up, right? Well, I'm not just sat here going, oh, if only one more speaker would contact me today and then I could sell them to all my clients and we'd all be like, that is not my business problem. Many of the agencies have thousands of speakers on their books. Many of those speakers don't even know that they're on those websites and they never get calls from them. And so you're just going to be another long list and blend into what I call the beige soup of the speaking industry. You're going to look like everyone else. You're going to be saying the same as everyone else. And you're going to be a bit like, originally I'm from the UK. And so, Charles Dickens' famous adaptation, Oliver Twist. With that begging bowl. Please, sir, can I have some more? Please, sir, can I have a gig? You never, as I've said, I work with highly intelligent, hugely inspiring people. You don't want to be handing out a begging bowl, just hoping you're going to get some scraps off the edge of the table. You need to have a solid business plan with a solid understanding of the marketplace so that you can take control and turn the tap on and off as much as you want to.
So I imagine you need to find a niche, find what they want,
Hang on,
give
Henry.
it
You
to
said
them
I
at
was
a
allowed. Time
value.
out, time out, time out. You said
Yeah.
that, we're in America now, so you said that I was allowed to call you out. This word bothers me,
Am
right? Being
I
English,
supposed to say
right?
niche?
There you go. There's no T in niche.
Well,
In fact,
you don't
niche is
like how
actually a
we say
French word.
water either. And
Niche is actually a
better,
French word. We've
water.
got
Yeah,
plenty.
I know.
We've got plenty of good English words, so we don't really need
Yeah.
to use that, right? Your segment of the market is fine.
Well, I always say in Canada, I say there's reaches in niches, beaches. So yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right.
it's
You're right.
you
You're
remember
right. You
that
do have to find.
there's a Broadway musical, and a famous song is "There's no business like show business." And we said, well, yes, there is. It's called the speaking business, and it's a business. So where can people learn about the speaking business? Tell us about your event in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so what we're bringing to Las Vegas in December is Speaker BizCon. So Speaker BizCon is 2 days of solid business plan, strategy, up-to-date industry insight, and decades of experience of professional speaking success and the models that speakers go through. You see, at main stage, I've used my experience of working with hundreds of speakers over thousands of events to understand what those common business models are that successful speakers do. Now, typically, it will take, if you've got the determination and if you've got the grit and if you've got the resilience, it will take you about 10 years to make it as a speaker. That's on average in this industry. That's what it
Overnight
takes.
sensation in only 10 years.
Exactly right. Now,
Okay.
at main stage, what we do is we show you that route plan so that you don't have to chase those shiny squirrels, you don't have to go down those rabbit warrens or whatever other analogy you want to make, so that you understand exactly what the business models are, you know how to implement them for yourself. But in Speaker BizCon, it's not just main stage. We've got a whole host of experts, and you can check out speakerbizcon.com to have a look further at who's there. But we've just gathered together the best marketers, the best on AI, the best on delivery, the best on business models, the best on selling, the best on video, so that in one place, in 2 days, you can learn exactly what the strategy is for you to be successful as a keynote speaker, however far you want to take it.
There you go. Speakerbizcon.com. So
Correct.
Tim Gard is going to be speaking there, a Hall of Fame speaker, a buddy of mine, and he's one of the funniest speakers you'll ever meet. But when you get in a conversation with him about the business of this, he's one of the sharpest people I've ever met. Darren LaCroix, one of my authors, Stage Time University in Las Vegas, is there, and he has just made a lifetime study of this and is just very willing to be generous with people. If you're committed to this, you're going to be in the right room. So,
Hmm.
Michael, thank you. Is there anything else you want to add before we say goodbye? I see our time is almost up.
Yeah, look, I mean, you talked about getting clear on your message, and I think this is one of the things, think about it's not just about what you are passionate about, right? If you want to be a keynote speaker, it's not just about what you're passionate about, it's about what the marketplace wants. If you're going to be successful, regardless of whether you want this to make you a lot of money or you just want the profile and be on the big stages, if you're going to be able to do that, you have to understand what it is that the clients want. What is it that people out there want from you? And then look at that and see what you've got that they need. It's just one of the things that people miss a lot. A lot of people are passionate about what they do, passionate about their message, and they end up pushing that passion and trying to solution sell. I've got this solution that you really need. Problem is, the marketplace out there doesn't know that that's a solution they need. In fact, sometimes they haven't even identified what their problem is. So you need to be able to articulate what you have so that they see that it's irresistible to them and they have to have that on their stage.
Excellent advice. Well, Michael, I'd love to have you back on another show. I know you've got a lot to give, but until next time, make it rain.